Throughout human history, we've experimented with many ways to organize economies: feudalism, mercantilism, central planning, and yes, capitalism. After centuries of trial and error, one system stands out for its proven ability to lift billions out of poverty, drive innovation, and expand human freedom. That system is capitalism, the voluntary exchange of goods, services, and ideas in competitive markets with private property rights. It's not perfect. No system created by imperfect humans ever is. But compared to every real-world alternative we've tried, capitalism is the best economic system we currently have. Here's why. First, capitalism aligns with human nature. People respond to incentives. Under capitalism, the profit motive rewards those who solve problems for others. If you create something valuable, a better smartphone, a life-saving drug, affordable food, you get rewarded through voluntary trades. This isn't greed in the cartoonish sense critics describe. It's self-interest channeled productively. As Adam Smith noted, it's not from the benevolence of the butcher, baker, or brewer that we expect our dinner, but from their regard to their own interest. Contrast this with systems where the state controls production. Central planners can't possibly know the preferences of millions of individuals. They lack the price signals that markets provide, prices that communicate scarcity, demand, and value in real time. Result? Shortages, surpluses, and stagnation. Look at the data. Since the Industrial Revolution, when capitalist institutions took hold in places like Britain and later the United States, global extreme poverty plummeted from over 80% to under 10% today. Life expectancy doubled. Literacy exploded. Technologies from electricity to the internet transformed life. Capitalist economies consistently outperform others. Compare South Korea, market-oriented after the Korean War, to North Korea, command economy. One is a high-tech powerhouse, the other is a starving dictatorship. West Germany versus East Germany. Taiwan, Singapore, and Hong Kong versus Mao's China. The pattern is clear. Even mixed successes like China only took off after Deng Xiaoping introduced market reforms in the late 1970s. Where markets were allowed to operate, growth followed. Where command persisted, failure followed. Capitalism empowers consumers. Competition forces companies to deliver better products at lower prices. Your smartphone today is more powerful than supercomputers from decades ago, and cheaper. Food is more abundant and varied. Healthcare, despite its problems, has seen dramatic improvements in treatments for cancer, heart disease, and infectious illnesses. In non-capitalist systems, the producer, often the state, holds the power. Citizens wait in lines for rationed goods of poor quality. Shortages become the norm because there's no incentive to innovate or respond to demand. History is littered with examples: the Soviet Union's breadlines, Venezuela's collapse under heavy state control, and countless others. Now, let's be honest about the flaws. Capitalism produces inequality. Some get very rich. But this isn't zero-sum. The pie grows. Bill Gates, Elon Musk, or Jeff Bezos didn't steal wealth, they created enormous value that improved life for billions: computers, reusable rockets, global commerce. Poverty has fallen fastest in market-oriented places. Mobility exists, education, hard work, and risk-taking can change your circumstances. Cronyism, where businesses lobby government for favors, is a real problem, but that's corruption of capitalism, not the system itself. True capitalism requires rule of law, property rights, and limited barriers to entry. Alternatives like socialism promise equality but deliver shared misery. The 20th century's grand experiments cost tens of millions of lives through famine, gulags, and economic collapse. Capitalism is dynamic. It adapts through creative destruction. Old industries fade as new ones rise. This churn is uncomfortable but essential. Horse carriages gave way to cars. Landlines to smartphones. Societies that protect this process thrive. Those that resist it fall behind. It also fosters freedom. Economic freedom correlates strongly with political freedom and human flourishing. People vote with their dollars every day. Capitalism isn't a utopia. It requires guardrails, basic regulations against fraud, sound money, safety nets for the truly vulnerable, and investment in public goods like infrastructure and basic research. But it harnesses the most powerful force in economics: voluntary cooperation at scale, for the benefit of humanity. No other system has delivered comparable results in reducing poverty, extending lifespans, and expanding opportunity. As long as humans are creative, ambitious, and varied in their talents, capitalism will remain the superior framework. The evidence of history demands we defend and improve it, not abandon it for fantasies that have repeatedly failed. Thank you.